There have always been a major connection with the science fiction and the Western genre, whether it be novels, film and TV. Science fiction films have always been based on the same themes and character basis of the Western. There are definite similarities between both genres. Even Star Wars had that recurring theme through its film franchise. The original series of Star Trek explored this theme a lot in episodes like Spectre of the Gun. The series Wild Wild West was a science fiction story blended in a Western setting. From films like Westworld in 1973 to even Cowboys and Aliens. Director Peter Hyams originally wanted to do a Western. Hyams recalled people saying to him, "You can't do a Western. Westerns are dead. Nobody will do a Western." Hyams remembers thinking that it was weird that a genre that has endured for so long could lose its popularity. However, he came to the conclusion that the genre was very much alive and well. He originally intended his script to be set in a Western period. He said, "I wanted to make a film about the frontier, not the wonder of it or the glamour of it. I wanted to do something about Dodge City and how hard life was, but decided to do a Western, but set it in outer space." He was influenced during that time to set it in space because of Alien. The film's original working title was I.O. Hyam persuaded an executive at the Ladd Company to change it due to some people mistakenly misreading the title I.O. as being the number 10. The title would be changed to Outland. In the writing of the script, Hyams would draw mainly from the classic Gary Cooper Western, High Noon. Similarities lie in the story. The killers want to kill the marshal, and the marshal finds himself on his own when his deputies abandon him, and with none of the residents in town to stand by him. A critic even said about Outland, "In Outland, writer-director Peter Hyams has adapted the plot of High Noon to an intriguing sci-fi environment. A huge titanium mine located on Io, a volcanic moon of Jupiter. But the conventions that worked for High Noon break down in the high-tech atmosphere of Outland." Hyams wrote the film with Sean Connery in mind. Connery was an actor who he admired greatly. He said, "I wrote it, and by great fortune, Sean Connery wanted to do it." And how many chances do you get to work with Sean Connery? He would play the lead character, Marshall O'Neill. The role of Dr. Lazarus was first offered to Colleen Dewhurst, but she turned it down. Actress Frances Sternhagen took the role. Actor Peter Boyle was known for his work on Taxi Driver and Young Frankenstein, though audiences might only know him for his work as the father on the US TV sitcom Everybody Loves Raymond. Outland was filmed at Pinewood Studios in the UK, and the film had an estimated budget of $16 million. Principal photography took place starting with the miniature models in May of 1980, and with the actors beginning in June of 1980. Director Peter Hyams handled the cinematography for the majority of the film. He hired Stephen Goldblatt as cinematographer. Goldblatt apparently only was hired by Hyams because he wanted him to stand aside and do nothing, and use him as a scapegoat for the production company, just in case anything went wrong, using the new format, Introvision, which uses front projection that allows foreground, midground and background elements to be combined in the camera, as opposed to using optical processes such as blue screen matting. This enabled characters to convincingly walk around miniature sets of the mining colony. Apparently, cinematographer Goldblatt was very angry that he was lied to, and he wouldn't have taken the job if he'd known about Hyams' intentions. He stayed in order to learn about Introvision, and Outland was his only real sole feature credit at that time, and quitting the film might have ruined his career. Post-production for the film was completed in February of 1981. Composer Jerry Goldsmith composed the music for Outland. Goldsmith also previously worked with director Peter Hyams on the science fiction thriller Capricorn 1. He creates a very dark, moody piece of music, which adds to that feeling of isolation and fear to the film. Goldsmith's score for Alien is very similar in style. Even at the beginning of the movie, the main title of Outland slowly emerges with the same ambient sounds like the opening title sequence in Alien. It has also been speculated that Outland takes place in the same universe as Alien. Outland opened strongly with over 3 million at the box office in the US in its first weekend and made between 17 and 20 million, which was just above its $16 million budget. After the release of Outland, the reviews were mixed. Some critics called it a brilliant sci-fi western and said Hyams made a film that is more frightening than Alien, and the film doesn't even have any alien monsters in it. The tagline for the film even lightly references Alien, saying, "Even in space, the ultimate enemy is man." Outland over the years has endured a lot of comparisons to Alien in its stark future realism production design that reflects a dark, claustrophobic and very isolated industrial environment in deep space. When I saw Outland for the first time on TV, I was just a kid. It was way too dark for my tastes. I was more of a Star Wars kid. Outland is a very dark film and feels very grim and foreboding thanks to Goldsmith's score. Sean Connery is great in the lead role of Marshall O'Neill. Peter Hyams is a greatly underrated director in my opinion, crafts a very dark and suspenseful film. There of course is that influence from Alien, but there are no monsters to scare. The clear monster is man in this film. It does have its issues in pacing and drags a little in places, but this you can look past. Give this film a watch. I hope you liked this video, and remember to please subscribe if you haven't already.